Hello, collective, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Crystal. You're probably wondering, what is up with this on your head? Well, today we're going to be talking about putting our brains on a diet. We're going to talk about stinking thinking and how to fix that. And so I have my little ghost up here wobbling around through my head. This is representing all those thoughts that we have that just roll around and around and around and kind of get us nowhere. How are we going to fix that? We're going to talk about that today and hopefully get rid of some of these ghosts and goblins that live inside our heads. Welcome to healing. Okay, so we're going to be talking about putting our brains on a diet, okay? Think of your brain like you do your stomach. Whatever you eat will affect the way you look. If you eat unhealthy or overindulge, you will either become overweight or physically ill with sickness or diseases. Well, your brain works the same way as your stomach. Whatever you think, whatever you listen to, whatever you speak about, whatever you watch, will affect the health and function of your brain. When you want a healthy body, when you want to look good physically, what do? Well, for one, you start eating healthier. And you do this by making plans, meal plans, and thinking about calories and what types of things you will eat. Also, you think and make plans for what will you no longer eat. You may fast, fasting by eating less and by not eating certain things like carbs, sugars, etc. You might even fast by skipping meals. 3, and then you exercise. Putting your brain on a diet to be healthy mentally, to feel good emotionally. Think about what you're putting into your mind. What have you been watching? What have you been listening to? What have you been talking about? What have you been thinking? Those are some things to think about, okay? Thoughts are actually brain food, okay? It's the food of our brain, our thoughts, and they're constantly rolling around in there, okay? Diet or intake, okay, is much intake and diet for your brain, our thoughts, and the intake is all the stuff around you that we talked about, like what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're speaking about, right? What you're thinking about. That would be the diet intake part of your brain. Think about your brain like your stomach, okay? It's much like eating food. So if we're going to put our brains on a diet, we need to make a plan. What am I going to feed my brain today? And we are going to be consciously aware of what we are feeding our brain on the daily. And it's going to take practice, okay? Just like when you first start a diet because you want to lose weight or you want to be healthier or you want to gain muscle or whatever. There's always a little bit of pain and there's always an adjustment period, okay, where we're learning new habits. And they say it takes about 30 full days to create a new habit. So you must be patient with yourself because a lot of the things that you have in your mind, they didn't get there overnight. Our emotional problems and our mental problems did not get there overnight, and they're not going to go away overnight. So please be patient with yourself also during this process, okay? So we're putting our brains on a diet, and we're going to be thinking about what we are going to use as food for our brain, which are thoughts, okay? We're going to make a plan on what am I going to feed my brain today, okay? That means what will I watch? What will I listen to? What will I talk about? What will I think about? Okay? Then the second step to the brain diet is we're going to be fasting. We're going to put our brains on a fast, okay? A detoxing of our mind. So we're going to think about what will I not say? What will I not watch? What will I not listen to? What will I not think about? And if or when I do, what will I do about it? Okay? So that's having a plan of, okay, I'm not going to watch movies that trigger me with trauma. I'm not going to listen to music that triggers me and brings about depressing feelings. I'm not going to sit around and gossip with friends or family and revisit old emotions or old memories. Okay, stuff like that. Okay, and I'm not going to think about or give into negative thoughts. Okay, I'm not going to think about the breakup that happened 2 years ago and go back and reanalyze every little thing that I might have said or done wrong or the other person did or whatever. These are the plans we're going to have. What ideas and thoughts and things are we going to fast from, okay? And then let's say those things slip in, right? Because we're on default mode. We're learning this new behavior, and it's going to take 30 days to get this thing kind of like an autopilot. So, there's going to be things that creep in, and let's have a plan of what are we going to do if those things do creep in, okay? What will I do about it? I will stop, I will look, and I will listen to my emotions, okay? How are you feeling inside? Because that's going to be your guide, okay? Like, let's say you're having the happiest day ever and everything's going really great, and then all of a sudden here comes this little ghost. There he is. He's just spinning around, and some old song comes on and it reminds you of this person that you were with, and all of a sudden now you're having all these feelings about, how the relationship was abusive or how that person made you feel or the sadness of losing the relationship. And now here you are. And that's where you go, oh, wait a minute. This is making me feel icky. This is not how I want to feel. So then you just turn it off. You tell yourself, look, I love you. I care about you. We're healing from this. I'm going to allow you to cry or have this moment, and we're going to move on from it. Give it forgiveness, give it peace, and then put on something happy. Okay, listen to something that's going to raise your vibrations up, that's going to make you happy. Okay, and that's how you're going to catch that. You're going to do the same thing with your thoughts. All of a sudden you're, at home folding laundry or whatever, and then all of a sudden you've got all these like really weird thoughts all of a sudden, and now you're going down a rabbit hole. Okay, same thing. You're going to take notice of how that's making you feel. You're going to acknowledge it, and then tell yourself, you know what? No, we're not going here because we've already healed from this. We've already moved past this. This no longer serves me. Okay. And then start thinking about something that makes you happy. Like for me, when I used to get really bad anxiety or really bad depression and depressive thoughts, what helped me was I would think about some of the most happiest times in my life. And sometimes if I was down a really deep, dark rabbit hole, I would think about the ocean. And I would close my eyes and I would imagine hearing the waves crashing on the shore. And then I would imagine myself laying in the warm sand with the warm salt water breeze blowing over me. And I would just imagine I'm smelling the salt water in the air, right? And I'm feeling the warmth of the sun kissing my face, right? And maybe hear some seagulls in the back, making their little noises and stuff, okay? And then in that moment, I would be at the ocean because the ocean has always made me happy. It's a peaceful place for me. So whatever that is for you, you just start there and you keep in that moment until that thought passes, okay? Until that feeling that it was making you feel passes, okay? So you have to have a plan on what you're going to do when these things, and the more you do this on the daily, it's going to become second nature. And after 30 days, 40 days, 60 days, 90 days of doing this, like, you're going to eventually look back one day and, like, for one, you won't even be thinking of those things anymore. They won't creep back anymore. And if they do, you will no longer have some kind of emotion attached to it. It will be just such a distant thing for you. Like, you'll even sit there one day and be like, wow, I don't even know why I ever even cared about that or wasted my time with certain things, okay? It's really going to help you. Really going to help you, okay? So much like burning fat off of our bodies when we want to look good, be healthier physically, we need to exercise, right? Our bodies. Same thing with our brains. We need to exercise our brains to lose calories. And the calories I'm speaking of are thoughts, negative, unwanted, repeating thoughts that cause unhealthy, low vibrational, emotional energy within us, okay? So when we're burning fat off our bodies, we're doing that to look good, right? To be healthier physically. But we need to exercise our brains so we can feel good and be happier mentally and emotionally. How we will burn the brain calories, which are toxic thoughts, feelings, okay? They're toxic thoughts, toxic feelings in our brains, okay? And all of those things lead to negative energy. And we want to vibrate high. We want to be our best selves. We want to fill up our own cups so that we can fill up the cups of others, okay? So what we're going to do then is we're going to take our thoughts captive. Okay? You can refer to the Bible if you enjoy reading the Bible, or a lot of different spiritual books, I totally respect everybody's beliefs, okay? At the end of the day, I think all religions basically are teaching us about love, loving ourselves, and also loving others, okay? They all have that in common. So I'm just going to reference the Bible because it's where I started my spiritual journey off at. So you're going to exercise your brain by replacing negative thoughts, feelings, negative speaking with positive ones, okay? And you're going to practice doing this all day long. It's really going to take a lot of work because, a lot of us are on autopilot, so be patient with yourself, okay? And you do that by consciously evaluating and paying attention to what you're feeding your brain. Okay, when you start feeling yourself get out of whack, go back to step one. Okay, go back to step one and think about, what have you been watching lately? What have you been listening to lately? What have you been speaking about lately? and what have you been thinking about lately, okay? And always make the adjustments. And eventually, you can tell this guy, piss off, because you deserve to be happy and you deserve to enjoy life. I love you, and go out there and get it, because it's yours to have. Happiness, love, light, everything. See you guys later. Bye.